let's talk about Hero Factory. Today's episode is all about Stormer 2.0. Dude, the ordeal of fire characters will always have a very special place in my heart, because I love these guys. So in today's video, let's talk about why I love this specific set, as well as share some of my ideas for how you could use the pieces that come in this set to build your own clever creations. Then we'll finish off with a really good revamp of Stormer 2.0. Let's dive in. I just love these 2.0 hero frames. You'd think that every single hero sharing the exact same helmet and having pretty much an identical build, you'd think that would get a little repetitive, but not really. The different faceplates, the unique weapons, the color changes, they just inject a ton of personality and individuality into each character. And actually the uniformity of the design makes them feel like a coherent unit, a larger task force that works together. And Stormer is one of the best examples of a 2.0 hero. The headgear, it's so cool. You can actually see that kind of molded and textured detail that goes over his eye, like it's some kind of digital readout or heads-up display. And then the orange little scope eye on the side. Dude, Stormer is looking more and more like Kopaka than he ever has. And I'm here for it. Although maybe this is a light and not a scope eye, but they're similar enough. And actually this trans orange Baraki eye can be removed and swapped out with other colors. Some little extra customization in there, that's like the cherry on top. And Stormer's weapon is beautiful. The blue spears with an extra weapon jutting out of the side. It's actually quite reminiscent of his original weapon that Stormer had in his 1.0 form. The rough shape, the rough feel of it, they're remarkably similar. I like that they did that. This actually feels like an upgrade on his original form. It's the little things, man. It's just good to see. Oh, but the craziest thing about this weapon, see these blue minifigure spears? You're probably thinking, hey, this is a regular Lego spear, the kind of thing you see on pretty much every castle minifigure. This is nothing special, right? You look at this, you're like, yeah, that's solid ABS plastic like every minifigure accessory. Well, it's not. For whatever reason, Lego decided to make this in rubber. Why did they do this? I don't know. Rubber spears, they appear in two other Hero Factory sets, both of which were silver. The first one came in Evo 2.0, it was on his weapon, and then you got them again on the villain set, Fangs. All three of these sets released in the exact same year. And then after that, Lego decided to never produce these rubber spears ever again. So look, it's cool that we got something different, but what was the point of making a whole brand new version of an already existing piece? Why make it in rubber? The only thing I could think of is that maybe these didn't meet some kind of health code. Maybe they were afraid that if these were solid ABS plastic spears, kids would poke their eyes out with these things. And so rubber made it a little bit more safe. But you'd think that kids would still poke their eyes out with the normal ones as well. Who knows? But hey, this is a really cool piece. One of those hidden treasures that you might not have known about. I love it. And while we're talking about pieces, let's see how you could use all the parts that come in this set to build your own awesome creations. So let's start off with that rubber spear. Despite the rubbery quality, this is also the only time that we've ever got one of these spears in blue. So take advantage of that, much like Torrent Axe 97 has done here. They've used them as dragon scales. If we look at the head, you can see that there's kind of a crest of these up top. And these blue spears, they tie in quite nicely to all of the other spikes and barbs that are everywhere else on this mock. I like this. Really good idea, it looks beautiful. Stormer also comes with this kind of ice pick style weapon. And it fits in well with his snow and ice themed aesthetic. A little bit more of a subtle ice aesthetic. But why not get a few of these and use them like Valhalla MOCs has done? You get 3 of them and you turn them into a large claw design. This is sick. I especially love how these claws have a bit more of a jagged, sharp edge to them. If you're looking for a bit of a bigger, larger scale claw design, do something like this. I mentioned Stormer's headgear earlier. It looks really good when you place it on top of other masks, like Strax's mask. We can see that Noodle's MOCs has done that. So yeah, this MOC is meant to be a cyborg version of Strax. And it's amazing that simply placing this over the top of the face instantly transforms and conveys that they are indeed a cyborg. The rough layout of this headgear, it also kind of mimics the look of Cyborg's headgear from DC Comics. So if you want to build a character that has some kind of technological enhancements or that is indeed a cyborg, do something like this. Over to the next piece. Every one of these 2.0 heroes, they come with a CCBS armor shell that has some printing on it. The printing typically has their name and some kind of pattern. It's like a name tag. Now, this is kind of a very hyper-specific piece that's really only going to work on the character. Because, why would your custom MOC called Barry Logan have armor that says Stormer 2.0 on it? That just kind of doesn't make sense. You kind of need to use this for Stormer. It's very limiting. Unless you do something like Ted Anders has done here. It's funny, because in this context, the patterns and the printing on this, it looks more like what you would see on a typical wetsuit or some kind of swimwear or diving gear. I mean, maybe Stormer 2.0 is like the brand name of this clothing. I mean, that's just clever. I love this. Additionally, the set includes this flexible hose piece. It's kind of a trans clear and blue hybrid. Mr. Voltron has a MOC that uses this piece. If we turn the MOC around, you can see that two of them are forming a very interesting ponytail, using them for hair. Good idea. And finally, the shield piece that makes up Stormer's weapon. How could that be used? Well, Casey Francis has a revamp of Korok Kal. And when we look at the weapons on their hands, yeah, you can see these pieces. I like this because the flat shape of this piece, it's quite similar to the flat shape of the hand weapons that we see on the original set. This kind of almost works as a modern alternative for this weapon design. It works well. So that's some ideas for how you could use these different pieces. Now, let's take a look at a very nice revamp of Stormer 2.0. This Stormer revamp was built by Johnny Dye, and I'm actually going to be talking about two different versions of this MOC. The one that you're seeing right now, and also this one right here. This one is much more of a Stormer 2.0 revamp, especially since it shares the same weapon and mask. Yeah, I gotta say, I love seeing the basic and original set being expanded upon. Because hey, the set itself is awesome, but it is a little small. And weirdly, the weapon, the mask, the armor, it looks so good on a much larger body. I don't know what it is, I just love seeing that. Take your heroes and make them big. Now sadly, this is the only image of this MOC. I would love to see this thing posed a little bit more. But this version uses basically the same frame, there's just a few minor modifications here and there. And we got a lot more photos of it moving and posing. And that's the best thing about this, is how posable it is. Like this shot of him kind of kicking. I love how the white CCBS armor on the knee juts out a little bit when the knee is bent. Doesn't that just look awesome? Although he does look pretty awesome in every single one of these images. And hey, how good does the 2.0 torso armor look when it's alongside the 1.0 mask? It's good to know that you can kind of mix and match the different pieces from all the different versions of Stormer to create one ultimate version. This rocks. And that's that, everyone. That's the incredible Stormer 2.0, as well as some inspiration for how you could use his pieces and how you could revamp him. Now, did you like the MOCs that I showed off in today's episode? Well, if you did, check the links in the description below and go see the social media of each of these builders. Go give them a like, leave a follow, and check out some of their other work. That's all for today though. Thanks for watching guys, happy building, and bye for now.